Hey there tech fans, Rick here again with another review, and today I have a really handy fill light that's magnetic, rechargeable, and double-sided, which means one side of the light is a dedicated RGB fill light and the other side of the light is a dedicated CCT fill light. So you're really getting the best of both worlds in a single product. Now, before I get too deep into all the nerdy details that make this a pretty special product, I thought I'd start off with a brief unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and that way you understand exactly what you get if you buy the product. And then I'll do a complete overview and point out all the features that make this a really special light, because I think the company's thought about how I use a fill light, and they've tried to incorporate all the features I care about into a single product. I'll also take a closer look at the light, and I'll show you the connections, the indicators, I'll walk through the menus, so you have a real good idea how to use this product once you get it home. And then finally, I'll come back and point out a couple of key things to keep in mind so you can compare this to other products you might be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you pop open the box, you'll find the fill light. You'll also find a charging cable. It's a USB-A to USB-C cable. You can plug the USB-A end into any standard wall charger or a computer port if you've got one open. The USB-C end plugs into the light, and it'll take about 2 hours to fully charge the light depending on how discharged it was when you started that charging cycle. But that 2-hour charge should get you between 2 and 5 hours of use depending on how you're using the light. Also included is a carry bag, and I think this is a really nice touch. So when you're done with the light, slide it inside the bag. It'll protect both sides of the lenses. You won't have to worry about scratching it. And also included is a full instruction manual that lists everything you could possibly need to know about the light, how to charge it, how to use it, how to mount it, the magnetics, the menu options, all the things that really make this a cool product. And I always recommend reading through the manual because there are details in there that really help you get the best value out of a product. All right, so let's talk about the light a little bit. So for starters, it's high impact plastic. It's got a USB-C connection right here for charging. There are 2 magnets on either side that are removable. So normally you would leave those in. The reason the magnets are there is number one, you can stick it to a metal surface and it kind of stays where you put it. But more importantly, if one light's not enough to fill up an area with light, you can snap 2 more lights on the outside because they're all magnetic, snap them on the outside, and you can have 3 lights across to really illuminate an area. I think that's great. When you're not using them, if you don't want them on there, you can pop them off. They'll slide right out the bottom. On the bottom, you'll find 2 mounting options as well. There's a 1/4" 20 that you can use with any standard tripod. There's also a cold shoe mount, so if you want to slide this on top of a camera or some other mount that accommodates a cold shoe, you're good to go. Now the light itself, again, is a really innovative and clever design. The one side's an RGB light, the other side's a CCT light. So if we're starting with the CCT side, that's what generates the white light. And the challenge with most fill lights are that they try to compromise because they're typically only having one side that actually illuminates a scene. The back is opaque. And the challenge with having all the LEDs on one side is that there's not a lot of real estate there, so you've got to compromise. And what most companies do is they'll pick a fill light, or an LED I should say, that will cast a combination of white light and colored light, and it really doesn't do a great job for either one because LEDs are designed to cast white light or cast multicolored light. By having 2 sides like this one, you can actually have one side dedicated to the white light, the other side dedicated to the color light, and that's exactly what they've done. So on the white light side, the CCT side, they've got 70 LEDs in there, which is really a lot of LEDs packed into a small space. It's going to cast a tremendous amount of white light. And you have complete control over both the temperature of the light in Kelvin and the intensity of the light. So you can dial it down to a very soft light down in the low 2000s, or you can crank it way up in the 7000s and have it be very bright and very stark, depending on your needs, whatever you're trying to illuminate. You also have control over the intensity through the menu on the top of the unit. If you spin it around, you can cast a wide variety of color lights at the other side. You have control over the hue of the light. You also have control over the intensity of the light. So anything you need to illuminate, if you're taking a picture of something or you're creating a video, you can use this light to do that. The other cool thing is they've built in 24 pre-programmed lighting modes for things like flashing lights like a lightning storm, they're going to simulate that, or a TV blinking on in the middle of the night, or a rescue squad or a fire company or a police company where the light will do all these things automatically. So again, if you're creating a video and you need to create sort of the illusion of a police car off to the side, you can have this thing flashing like crazy. So they've really given you everything you need. And the best part is it's incredibly simple to use. The menu up top is really intuitive. It's easy to walk through that, and I'll show you that in the next section. A lot of the fill lights out there are very complicated. They've got 1 or 2 buttons and a couple of knobs, and it could take you half an hour to figure out how to use them. With this one, you power it up. It comes up in color mode. You can change the colors, change the intensity. If you want to come to white mode, you hit the power button again. The white side comes on. So it's an incredibly easy product to use. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the light and explain the menu options I just mentioned, and then I'll come back at the end and point out a few things again that you use to compare this to other lights on the market. Inside the kit, you'll find the LED fill light, a full instruction manual that lists everything you need to know about the light to use it correctly. There's diagrams in here for connections, how to charge it, how to remove the batteries, how to access the menu options and what they do. I always recommend reading through the manual to get full value out of the product. You'll also find a charging cable. This is a standard USB-A to USB-C cable. This is used for charging the unit. You can plug the USB-A end into any USB wall charger or a computer port, plug the USB-C into the light, and you can fully charge it in a couple of hours. They also include a carry bag, which I think is a nice touch. You can slide the lamp inside here to protect it when you're traveling. When you're done for the day, just pop it in the bag, pull these two strings, throw it in your backpack, and that way you won't scratch the lenses. Now the light itself is made from high impact plastic, which makes it lightweight and very durable. On the sides, you'll notice two magnets that are removable, and these are great because when you bring it up against the metal surface, it'll actually stick to that surface. But there may be times you don't want the magnets in there, maybe it's interfering with some other piece of technology. You can slide those magnets out. That's an advantage. A lot of other lights have magnets, but they're non-removable. You'll also notice a USB-C port right here, and that's used for charging. Again, you can use the cable that's included in the kit, or you can use a cable of your own that has a USB-C connection on it. On the bottom are two more connection points. There's a 1/4" 20 threaded shaft right there that can be used with all the tripods you have. You also have a cold shoe mount right there where you can slide this on your camera or any other mount that uses a cold shoe. Now on the top of the unit are the menus, and you'll find 4 buttons on the outside of the display: power, mode, plus and minus, and these are used to make adjustments to whatever menu setting you're on. To turn the unit on, you'll hold down the power button for a couple of seconds. You'll see it come to life, and it starts up in color mode, which is HSV mode, and you can see that I'm in some version of purple right now, and I have control over that. Right now I'm set at 100%, so if I want to decrease the intensity of that, I can hold the minus button, and you see it's getting less intense. I'll go back up to 100%. That's more intense. If I want to change the color, I can hit the mode button and move to the center, and that'll give me a different color. Right now I'm on 332 degrees, which gives me that exact color, which is kind of nice. I like that. Now if I want to move to the white side of it, I'll just tap, and again it's a two-sided, this is color and this is white, two-sided light. If I tap the power button, the white side comes on, and I spin it around. You can see the menu's adjusted now for the white light. I'm in CCT mode, and I have two choices here. I can adjust the temperature or the intensity. Right now I'm at 4,000 Kelvin, which is a pretty natural color, but if you want to take that to more of a blue color, you can use the plus and minus buttons. Plus obviously it'll take you up towards the blue range. See how harsh that gets? Or you want to take it down really, really low, you can take it all the way down to 2,500 Kelvin. So you can adjust the temperature there. You can also adjust the brightness just by tapping the mode button. It'll move over here. And then if I want to make it less intense, I'll hit the minus button, pretty straightforward. And then all the way back up to 100% here. So this menu gives you a lot of control. Now the last setting has to do with the automated functions. If I tap the power button again, now I'm in automated function mode. And right now I'm on fire, but I can change that to, let's see what's the next one. Cold. Ooh, that's cold. Looks like icy cold. Then I'm going to musical, so it's listening to your voice and it's bouncing around a little bit there. It may actually just do that automatically. Let me stop talking. Yeah, it's automatic. It's simulating listening to your voice. Okay, so I was wrong there. And then that's the sun. You get the idea. So there's police sirens, there's rescue squads, there's a lot of different special effects you can use. And what's nice about that is if you're creating a scene, you might want to set a couple of these up around you, put it in this flashing mode to simulate a cop car or something in the street. So I think it's great they build all that stuff in. Now to turn it off, you'll hold the power button again, a couple of seconds, and it goes to sleep. And you can charge it when it's asleep. You can also charge it when you're using it, which is a major advantage. A lot of them you can only charge it or use it. With this one you can charge through, meaning you can attach this to a battery bank when you're using it, and you can go all day if you need to make sure you've got the lighting you need. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now here are a few key things to keep in mind that you can use to compare this light to others you might be considering. The first thing is, it's got two sides. Most lights on the market have a single side, and all the LEDs are crammed into that tiny little space, and they're not going to do a great job of both color and white. They're going to compromise on one or the other. It's either going to do a good job on white and a terrible job on color, or vice versa. By dedicating the LEDs to different sides of the light, they're guaranteeing that I've got a beautiful color spectrum on this side and a beautiful white light on that side. That's a huge difference in most of the companies out there. The second thing is, I've got magnetics on both sides that I can use to attach it to a metal surface, or I can snap more lights on the outside to really increase the amount of intensity of light that I'm throwing down on a subject. I love the fact that I've got mounting on the bottom for both 1/4" 20 and a cold shoe mount. I also like the fact that it charges off a USB-C. I can't tell you how many fill lights out there are still stuck in the old micro USB charging age, and that's antiquated technology. This one uses USB-C, which means it's a very common charging standard. Most of the cables available today are USB-C. It also means it's going to charge faster than micro USB, so that's another advantage. And the last thing I'll mention is the menu, because I've got a lot of fill lights. They're complicated, and every time I bring it out, I've got to break out a manual and figure out how do I change the hue, how do I go to white, what do I do here. With this one, it's incredibly intuitive. The menu's right in the top. When you're using the white light, you can read it, it's facing you. When you spin it around to RGB, it's facing you again, so the menu actually flips. They've really thought of everything from a consumer perspective to use the light, make it efficient, make it really easy to use. And again, from a value perspective, I can't believe the price that this product is offered at compared to other fill lights on the market. It's a very good value. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. I love talking about technology like this, and I hope you got some value out of this particular video. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay nerdy.